go over the pompous, chaos-corrupted one-man mechs in the grim darkness of the far future. Chaos Knights are human-looking machines of warfare with weaponized limbs and giant armor that, no surprise, turn to chaos. While they might not be as big or bad as their cousin the Titans, they are ancient relics that originate from the age of technology and have been passed down from generations of noble families, each one of them acting like a feudal royal family, each one of them being self-important and grandiose. So you better eat your soup proper, young lady, or you're going to be shunned by them and never be allowed to one of their elegant dances ever again. Oh, never mind, these ones don't care because they're chaos-stricken and have no morals. So show up in like sweatpants and a shirt with your favorite band on it. Oh, and by the way, I was forced and pressured by one of my most loyal viewers because they could not stop asking me about it. The real moral of the story today is that if you want somebody to do something, continually ask them, threaten them till they give you in your demands. But like, in Minecraft though, don't do that in real life, that's bad. And if you have a video request, make sure to tell me in the comments down below. Before we get to the chaos part, let's explain what a knight is first. The knight is a robotic combat walker that is a smaller, cuter, less capable cousin to the even smallest Imperial Titan. The difference is that Titans use giant teams to operate, while knights only need one person to operate it. In the Imperial Knight Shinji, haha, am I right? I've never watched one episode of Evangelion. Each Imperial Knight, though, can power through an entire army, with its armor and overwhelming firepower, with things like artillery cannons and giant chainswords. Before the Imperial Man, knights protected worlds across the galaxy where they thrived and had a great time controlling isolationist worlds. This helped them out when the Age of Strife started. Since they were away from everything, they didn't really have to deal with any of the bad parts. And the houses purged mutants and psychers from their populations, and by that I mean disposing of everyone who's different. That being said, their culture took a large downturn because of the massive loss of knowledge, making it so knights and their technologies and how they're manufactured became long lost. But other traditions and oaths became embedded in the conduct of their culture, which really only helped the ruling class because they reverted to times of feudalism. And that 40k thing happened where they're all still kinda evil rulers. When the Emperor showed up, Night Worlds already started to reconnect with humanity. When the Emperor came around, some of the tyrants of these worlds refused to unify under the Emperor. Those ones got treated like Warhammer Fantasy, destroyed completely with no hope of coming back. Other noble families that weren't dumb swore loyalty to the Emperor and regained lost knowledge. Some even pledged themselves to the mechanicus and their religious order. When the Horus Heresy happened, most of the noble families proved to be quite steadfast in the face of corruption, with them being crucial towards many wins against chaos. Except for those that pledge themselves towards that dark evil pact, which are the tech priests of Forge Worlds or Space Marine legions who had turned traitor. Instead of doing that, they should have pledged their loyalty by subscribing to me, so they could get some cool Warhammer videos every week. But still, the knights that didn't fall to chaos might still fall to them, especially the worlds with knights near large flows of warp energy or in long campaigns, with some of them going insane from the death and horrors of war going on around them, going down in a giant slaughter. There are two types of houses that fell to chaos, with iconoclast houses that are full of malice and madness, them being corrupted, mentally breaking, and being tortured. Their history of depravity and horror stretches through millennia. Some of those pilots even believe that everything they do are acts of virtue and valor, no matter how horrible it is, seeing everyone else as inferior. And then there's infernal houses, which kept their allegiance to the dark mechanicum and traitor legions. They got pranked pretty hard, where they'd have unholy rituals done to their knights and have demons put in their machinery, them having some of the most warped, tainted, and insane machinery in the universe. There are many different types of Chaos Knights, which are mostly just dark reflections of Imperial Knights. Like a dark, messed up version of the Imperial Knights, haha. Just a glimpse into my dark reality. A full stare into my twisted perspective would make mostly simply go insane, Lamau. Your variations of Hellstriders that are extremely mobile and small that are mainly employed by Slanesh, as well as the larger Hell Scourge and Hell Knights. War Dogs are from the Armirgur pattern, and Despoilers that use the Questores pattern rule the Paladins and the Crusaders, as well as giant Tyrants being super heavy. The Pilot and the Knight transform from the corrupting power of the Warp. Tortured artificial intelligence meld with the demonic engines, making one seriously mutilated and miffed Chaos Knight. The corruption almost rots and degrades the machinery, making it so the ancient machinery and disciplined training are worth nothing. Now the personality and hate from the warp makes it move like a predator searching for its prey. They leap forward wanting of death and destruction, cleaving through everyone in a slaughter. Chaos Knights have many different melee and ranged weapons that devastate the battlefields, like power claws, lances, swords, whips, and maces, which work like their normal-sized variant, except that they're giant and can be charged with ludicrous amounts of power. As for ranged weaponry, knights have things like giant bolt cannons, flamers, meltas, missile launchers, as well as Gatling guns and tank cannons, as well as some artillery cannons, and some unique relics, including the Chaos Reaper chainsword and Thunderstrike gauntlets. One of the many notable houses is House Lucaris, swore its allegiance to Warmaster Horus, and has the symbol of a serpent with a fin, back, and devil tail. He seemed to really take it personally when Horus was killed, and a vow of vengeance on the entirety of the Imperium was enacted, with them holding a 10,000-year grudge like everybody else in this universe. One of the most noticeable Chaos Knights is a Rampager-class knight named Death's Saber. Its main claim to fame is that its visage was covered in skin and gore, being stinky and draped in its new drip because of all the fighting it had to go through for 2.5 centuries. Eventually, it stumbled upon a bunch of Necron Flayed Ones. Those Frayed Ones looked at the knight and said, "Man, he's just like me for real," and started to follow the knight. Death's Saber itself didn't even notice its new lackeys. That's all I had for this video. What do you guys think about the Chaos Knights? Are they sexy and swaggy? I personally think they're pretty cool. But as always, make sure to tell me in the comments down below. If you like this type of content I make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And maybe hit that bell too. Until next video, fellas.